Hey, welcome to another episode of Chad's Beer Reviews. Gina and Eric are joining us again.
What's going on?
And we're drinking a New York State beer. Welcome.
Oh, thank you.
This is Ithaca Brewing Company, or Beer Company's, I'm sorry, Excelsior 12th Anniversary Ale. Monastery Style Quadruple Ale. Our Anniversary Ale 12 is reverently brewed with French malts and German hops, then piously fermented with a special blend of Trappist yeast strains. Oh, it's actually made with Trappist yeast. That's really interesting.
Can we get a dictionary for me?
That's the 7 breweries in Europe made by with the beers made by monks.
Oh, I got you.
Jeez, how did you not know that?
And it doesn't say on here. I looked it up. It is 12% ABV. It's very strong. They even waxed the cap on here, as you can see. Just gonna peel this off. That's not wax, it's plastic. Such a jip.
Yeah, of course.
Alright, we are back. And it does look like a Belgian quad. It's almost like a super dark maroon, or like a chestnut kind of color. What color do you think it is?
No, it's kind of got a... Yeah, you're right, chestnut. If
That's
you look at it in the light...
Mahogany, maybe?
Mahogany, I'd say. It's a little bit darker than chestnut.
No, look at it more on an angle towards the light. You can see more chestnutty.
Yeah. Each his own.
Well, you've got
What
the
about-
giant wine glass, right? And we're dealing with the tulip glasses.
Give it a little swirl, you get a little bit more head there. It smells like a Chimay Blue or something like that. Very malty, very
I was gonna
red
say that.
grape, plum, fig.
Yeah, it's got one of
You
those...
definitely smell it. It smells like it's been fermented a while.
And like you were saying, there's an unlimited shelf life on this.
Yeah, it says you can cellar it indefinitely. I've had it in the basement for like 9 months or so broke it out just for you guys.
I feel
Be
special.
scared.
Yeah. All right, cheers to that.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, that is like syrup.
I was going to
Yeah.
say it was a very strong taste.
Yeah. It's
Well, I'm Canadian, so syrup is great.
Yeah, I like syrup.
I don't know if I'd like to drink it out of a glass.
Have any waffles?
We should have went to IHOP.
Pour some Ithaca beer over the top of your waffles. You see the little 12-year-olds getting smashed.
Yeah. It's like it is. All jokes aside, it is very syrupy. It's very thick, but it's very rich sweetness, organic. Like it doesn't taste like sugar or high fructose corn syrup. It just tastes like
Rich.
it's straight from nature. You know?
They put a lot of flavors in there, but it's like sugary flavors that cause, just produce a lot more ABV.
Yeah.
You know what? I find it goes down fairly smooth. Like I find that it's a smooth flow downward. I mean, there's just a little bit of...
Yeah.
It's a pretty consistent taste too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There wasn't really a lingering taste. There was just the actual taste. There wasn't anything at the beginning or end that was any different. It's just a straight flavor and then it goes down, and there isn't very much aftertaste.
I get like toffee. A lot of toffee, kind of caramel, and like there's a whole like melange of dark fruits in there.
I wouldn't say caramel, but definitely more toffee.
Yeah.
But it's definitely thick.
This is a sipper though.
Yeah, it's definitely that
can't
one.
I can't even like take it more than half a
You
gulp at a
chew it
time.
on the way down.
You definitely, it has to be a sipper. If you take this down too fast, you're not going to be able to stand up for a minute.
Yeah, and it is, it's 12% ABV,
strong.
but I'm not like, usually you can taste, like the alcohol tastes separate from the regular palate. Here it's all blended very well. It's like, I don't even really get that much heat on the throat, like maybe like a little warm.
And you were saying it was 12%, so usually you would taste it. You're right. But I think the sweetness definitely drowns it out.
Yeah.
Like in the aftertaste, like when you exhale, you get that burn in the throat sometimes.
Didn't get that.
It's definitely covered up.
Yeah. Bear in mind, this is it's been cellaring this for about 9 months, maybe more. Plus, it was probably a year old before that, so It's got some age on it.
But
You think that would make it smoother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Do you guys want to take a break and come back, or you want to just finish as we're going now?
I guess we can do that. Anybody want to chug it back? I'm kidding.
No.
All right, we are back, and we finished up the bottle, and we all got some yeast in our glass, so it thickened up a little, changed the palate a little, made it a little more
Bitter.
or significantly more bitter, I should say.
Especially in the aftertaste, rather than with just the drink.
Still the same initial taste, and then after you swallow it, the yeast has made a pretty significant difference in the.
It's making it more dry too, because it finished fairly clean the first half. Now I'm like drinking it, so I'm getting thirsty, and I'm noticing that the palate is like literally thinned out, like the palate, and it's kind of mild out too. Like it doesn't seem as thick and syrupy as it did. Now it just kind of seems like a really sweet, fruity beer to me.
I was gonna say I don't taste the sweetness as much. It's more.
It's probably the yeast, but then
again.
Our palates could be getting used to the taste. It could be numbing out because it is a very strong beer.
Yeah.
And it was very thick. Granted, like as we poured it out, you were first, and then I was next, and you were third. So we're seeing all three different.
As you can see, Chad's beer still has some. You can still see through it. Mine's a little bit more opaque.
And mine's just in the middle.
As far as rating wise, I wanted to rank this higher than I'm going to rate it, because this was an expensive beer. It was like $15 for this bottle. But I think this is as good as the last beer. It's like a 7. I was expecting or hoping for like a 9 or a 10 out of this. I mean, I'm going 7. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. I would, I think it should just be a little more pleasurable overall. But it's a good beer. 7. What do you guys think?
Personally, I'm not a big fan of the darker beers as much, with the sweetness as much. I'm not as big of a fan. I like more the lighter scale of beers.
Yeah.
So I'd probably give it more of a 5, and especially the fact that
Didn't you pick this one out?
No, she picked the other one out.
I picked the other one.
Okay.
I picked this one.
I base it off the picture. No, I would rate it probably about a 5. Not something I would outwardly go out and try to purchase and drink. But I mean, if it was given to me, I'd have it.
Personally, I normally like these kinds of beers. It's very flavorful. It was very smooth to start off with. It's definitely not something that I think one person should drink an entire bottle in one sitting.
No, yeah.
Yeah, definitely not. Like one glass at a time, kind of like drinking a fine wine or something like that.
Like Chad said, a sipper?
It's definitely a sipper, because it is going to numb your palate after a while, and then it's going to completely change the flavor. Honestly, I'd probably give it about a 6. I mean, that's not because I dislike it.
Right.
It's just because it's. I think it's a beer that you would need to get used to. Something that you would.
Yeah.
Something that's not an everyday type of beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wasn't a big fan
Maybe
of
a
how
7.
much.
Maybe a 7.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of how much it changed throughout the pouring process. I mean, the other one changed slightly, but this one significantly changed. And I wasn't as big of a fan of that. I like consistent beers.
If you don't like the bitter, then don't pour out the bottom of the bottle. That's all we can say.
Alright, well, I guess that about wraps it up. So thanks to Jeannie and Eric for coming over.
Thank you for having us.
Cheers.
Cheers.